8 years ago, I was married. My wife at the time and I got married in beautiful Positano, Italy. Everyone flew out for it. It was this incredible wedding. 4 months later, we moved out to Bali, Indonesia. And then she went to Australia, and I stayed in Bali, and she left her iPad. And I prided myself on having trust in a relationship. And one night, I just kept hearing the iPad going off and off and off, and her phone was synced to it. I picked up her iPad, and I opened her iPad, and right there before me was the most scandalous pictures of her and someone else. In that moment, my heart fell into my stomach, right? My whole identity of Mr. Success was shattered. The successful friends, the successful network, the successful business, the successful relationship. I was even offered to write a relationship book with my partner, and we were ready to go there. I didn't know what to do with myself. I called one of my friends. His name's Preston Smiles. Great motivational speaker, great guy. Okay, you know him, okay. All right. And I told him, and he said, bro, you're going to want to go around this, go under this, go over this, but you can't. You must go through it. And that was this point in my life where it didn't matter about all the things that I had achieved. I had to sit with what was happening right there. Who here has ever experienced heartbreak? Wow, look at this. Love, hey? The value of love. Hurts like hell and it feels so good, right? So this was my first experience of a massive shatter of the identity. So I doubled down on my vision. I was like, you know what? I'm going to fix this. I'm going to become more successful. Mr. Addicted to Success. That was my whole business, my brand. I became so tied to the identity of the brand, like some people here, maybe tied to the identity of your social media accounts. And so you build this world around that. And that's what I did. And then I said, you know what? I want somebody that loves me for being the success that I am. I'm going to double down and become more successful. I'm going to get more things and have more things. I'm going to spoil her, because if I spoil the next girl, she's not going to cheat on me like my last one did. Little did I know that I attracted somebody in that was all the checks on the list. That, you know, who here has a list of like what you like in a partner, you know, looks and yeah, okay, so I wrote one of those lists and I checked it all. I forgot something. I'm going to get back to that in a sec. But I started to go into this relationship where she was dismissive, avoidant, pulling back, playing some tug-of-war games, and my anxious attach started to come up. I started to become nervous. That freaking movie with Will Smith, Hitch. Who here seen that? Freaking Hollywood, man. That'll mess with your brain. I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta shower her with gifts. We're gonna go to 5-star luxury restaurants, you know, boat cruises and jet skis and all the things. And every time I did that, I betrayed myself. It was like holding an ice block in front of a heater. Parts of you slowly drip away. And I got to a point where I couldn't handle it anymore. I got a relationship coach. She's coaching me in this session. She sat there and she stared me in the eyes and she said, Joel, I got a question for you. How is your relationship with your mother and your father? I said, well, my mom, you know, she's great. She's fantastic. She's really supportive. Talk about self-development. She's always been there for me. I said, great. What about your father? I said, it's good, like good. When we hang out, when we get along. And she asked me this question. I want you to ask yourself this question too. Maybe it's not your father, maybe it's your mother, maybe it's somebody close to you in your life. The question was, if your father was to die today, would you feel complete in your relationship with him? If your father was to die today, would you feel complete in your relationship with him? And I felt all this tension and pressure come right up to my head, and it hurt like hell, and tears started to run out of my eyes. She said, there's something there. And she said, you got to do something about this. I went into my room after this call. I took my clothes. I'm not going to take my clothes off, but like I just let you know. I'm just painting the picture for you, right? And I stood in front of the mirror, and I'm standing there with my shirt off, just raw with myself, looking in the mirror, and I'm like asking myself the question, what's blocking me and stopping me from realizing I'm already here? that I'm already here. All the things that I've wanted. I want a great relationship. I want to feel confident and centered in myself as a man. I don't want to feel like a little bitch, giving myself away all the time, you know? Pitying myself. And I knew it as it came through me that I had to have this conversation with my father, and I was shaking, right? I ended up getting on the phone with my dad, and I said, Dad, you know, I had this conversation with my coach, and she asked me this question. She asked me, if you were to die today, would I feel complete in my relationship with you? And the answer was no. There's this long pause in the end of the line. My dad's like this stoic Aussie. He goes, Joe, I think you're just overanalyzing everything. And I'm like, Dad, this is so important to me. I need you to listen. He sat with it for a few seconds. He said, Joel, the only time I ever felt love from my father was when he was on his deathbed and he gave me a hug at 76 years old. That was the first time I ever got a hug from my father. And I tell you what, that there was a game changer for me, because I was like, shit, if that happened then for you, you're miles apart from him. And that's the template, and that's what I learned. And all I wanted was the love from my father. It created overcompensationary success. I wanted the external and the success out there for me to feel good about me. And I pinned it to everything. Fancy cars, luxury cruises, all the gifts. Because everything was external. Instead of coming back here, instead of actually having a tough conversation that took me just 5 seconds of courage to have that conversation with my father. Maybe for you it's with your mother, maybe it's with a brother or a sister, or an ex-partner or your current partner, whoever it is, your sons or your daughters. It's the biggest game changer. People keep coming to me asking me about more success, but what if it's not about adding extra things on top, but actually letting go of what's back here? Because it's really hard to move forward when the boulder is holding you back. That's success. Thank you.